What's up, gang? Today I'm going to go over the 20 rep squat program, give you some perspective and understanding of exactly what we're doing, so you can see the future that we're looking towards, the progression, the adaptations, how we're going to adjust it on the fly, and the outcomes that you can expect from doing this. First of all, this is my version, Coach Michael's version of the 20 rep squat program. So if you Google it online, you can pull a whole bunch of them, read about them. They're all cool. They all are generally the same, but this one specifically that we're doing is my individual adaptation of it that we're following. And that's going to be important to understand, so you can ask me questions and see how it compares to anything else that you've done or any versions of the 20 rep that you read online. Simple overview of the program. Twice per week, you will do one set of 6 reps, followed by one set of 20 reps. Increase each set by 5 pounds in each session. So right now we're doing it Mondays and Fridays. So whatever you lift on Monday, when you see it on Friday, you'll increase by 5 pounds. When it comes back on Monday, another 5, Friday 5, Friday 5, so on and so forth. So for the beginning sets, what we did was we found our 5 rep max, and then we did that number minus 20. That's our set of 6, and that number minus 90 for our set of 20. Unless your 5 rep max was under 180 pounds, in which case you just did 50% of that 5 rep max instead of minus 90 pounds. And those were the starting weights. So let's take person A as an example. Their 5 rep max was 275 pounds, which means on the first day of the program, they did 6 at 255 and 20 at 185. Based off of their 5 rep max, their projected 1 rep max would have been 325. So day 1, 6 at 255 is about 78.5%, and 20 at 185 is 57%. Those, if you've seen other videos or heard me talk for a while, they matter to you. And if it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't. Who cares? So day 1 through day 19, this is just what I could fit on the screen. They start at 78% and 57%. That's Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday, Monday, Friday. By the third Friday, they'd be hitting 6 reps at their 85%, which is close, or this one, depending on where you're at. Doesn't matter. Point is that this is where we're getting to a maximum effort lift. And at this point is where we're in PR territory, and they may hit a slowdown depending on their efficiency and a lot of other variables that come into play. But that's just 3 weeks in before we hit that, and then 20 reps at 75% is a monumental lift, and that would be at day 12. Day 15 of the program, you'd be hitting 6 reps at your starting 1 rep max and 20 reps at your starting 6 set, which are huge accomplishments. And then by day 19, they'd be hitting 20 at 275, which was their 5 rep max. So 20 reps at their 5 rep max. And this is a typical progression. Obviously, how long you can sustain this, how many successful lifts depends on a lot of variables, and how many weeks you can do this and how many times per week depends on your ability to recover and adapt. So there's a lot of variables into it. Doesn't matter. Most of us have been on this progression since we started it and have been hitting it. We've got, I think, 16 members who have hit a set of 6 above their original projected 1 rep max from starting this program. And a few people are closing in on that 20 rep at their starting 5 rep max already, which is an incredible number. So just adding those progressive overload stimulus is wildly effective. And that's a crazy quick progression, it looks like on paper, and that's how it works. It's very cool. So if we're comparing volumes, let's say program number 1, 5 sets of 5 at 85%, you follow that for 12 weeks. That's a pretty average 5x5 program, and we're going to compare it to the volume from the 20 rep plan for 12 weeks also. So program 1, 5x5 at 85%, we're taking the same person. So 275 is their 85%, 5 sets of 5, they did it for 12 weeks. Their total weight lifted would have been 82,500 pounds. And 5x5 for 85% for 12 weeks is brutal volume. 5x5 at 85% is hard. That is a lot of heavy squatting every single week. It's a big volume-based program. So when we make this comparison, it's important to understand that 5x5 at 85% is no joke. If we took that same person for program 1, 5x5 at 85% for 12 weeks, and then took their numbers for the 20 rep plan for 12 weeks, instead of 82,500, they would have lifted 161,400. So it's almost double the total volume by following this progression for 12 weeks. So the volume is way higher, even though it doesn't seem like it at first. When we're just lifting 6 at 78.5% and 20 at 57%, it's like these weights are too light and it's just 2 sets. But if you stick to the plan, trust the process, the volume is nearly double. Now, some of the huge benefits of this is one, the volume is spread out over 2 sessions per week instead of one. It's just 4 sets and it's spread out instead of cramming it all into a single day. So your body can adjust and recover from the minor doses of volume as it accumulates over time. It hits more volume in different percentage categories. So yeah, it started at 78% and 57% or whatever, those lower ones, and it's very high repetition, so it's a lot of volume. Then when you get to the middle ranges, it's going to be more volume during those 75 to 85% than the 5x5 at 85%. And then as you get above it, it's going to be more volume at the higher percentages. So it covers that across the board, but also it's more energy systems. When you have a 85% of 275, and during this program, you hit it for a set of 20 reps, the intensity of that set is crazy, and the energy systems that you use for a set that long are wildly different. That's doing 4 sets of 5 at 85%, all crammed into a single set. So that volume is insane. And your ability to recover and adapt to those with those different energy systems is important. So if it's so effective, it does so much volume, and we've got so many members benefiting from it so much so quickly, why don't we always just do the 6 and 20 program? And how come people just don't follow it all the time? Why is this not the best program in the entire world? Well, there's a number of reasons. One, mentally, it's brutal and it's terrifying. And I've been saying for weeks, you will fail first from fear than you will from anything mechanical, than you will from the total load that you're going to lift. You're just going to get afraid because the progression is so aggressive and so quick that mentally it psychs you out. And at first, some people definitely responded like I was teasing you guys, but now that a bunch of people are in that range and eclipsing that range and hitting that fear marker, you realize it's true. Mentally, it is very hard to do long term. It breaks you down for sure. The volume, total pounds lifted, and the load per set, they just get too high. It's a lot condensed into a small area, but eventually it gets too much for you to adapt to. The weights get too heavy and the volume gets too much and you can't fully recover. That happens very quickly, so we got to back it off. You'll need to address specific weaknesses because they may or may not arise, but probably will, in how you're going to adjust. So right to left differential, quads, hamstrings, whatever, upper back. At some point, you're going to need to address specific weaknesses in order to level it up. So you're going to have to back some volume away from the squat and add it to other places to address those issues. Your body's going to need to recover and you're going to need to change movement patterns. So when you hammer that much volume, your body breaks down. And when you hammer that much volume into the same movement pattern, your body's going to break down. And then your body's not going to adapt as well. It's just going to adjust to that repeated stimulus. And then you won't get as big an adaptation. So you'll want to switch up to different movements. So those are some of the reasons why we can't just follow it forever, but a nice comparison to just simply doing a set of 6 and a set of 20 at what appears to be super light can be wildly effective, and the volume is insane. You guys are feeling that now at this point because we've been in it for a long time, but it can be deceptive for sure. So those are all the benefits that you can expect to it, and hopefully that gives you a little bit more of an understanding of why we're doing it, how it works, and what you can expect to do by the time we get to the test, which is November 1st, which I'm trying to go back real quick. Thought of this last second. If this individual followed it all the way through to say that they would hit 6 reps at day 19, so let's say 12 weeks being day 24, 350, 355, 360, 365, 370. I'm going to get my calculator out and say 370 for a set of 6. This person was successful for all 24 sessions. 370 would put them at a projected max of 440. So they would take their projected max from 325 to 440 if they stuck with this program from when we started to when we retest it. And I would bet a lot of money that that person is successful. I've already predicted, what is it, June? I've already predicted at the end of May and the beginning of June what a bunch of you will hit when the time comes in November, and I'm going to stick by that. So just a little bit of perspective in what you can expect. You'll hit your 5 rep max for a set of 20, you'll hit your 1 rep max for a set of 6, and you will improve your overall 1 rep max way more than you would have imagined, and your body won't feel quite as miserable in the process as some might think. So there's a little bit of information on that 20 rep squat. I don't think I talked too much. We'll see.